Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we look at another indie game. This time we're looking at Lost Scavenger by Rockbee. Lost Scavenger is a post-apocalyptic survival game that takes a lot of inspiration from the Stephen King movie The Mist, with a mysterious mist covering the earth and transforming its population into monsters. Now this game is very brutal, it has a very high learning curve and it's very similar to another game called Neo Scavenger. And Neo Scavenger is a game you all have suggested I try more than once. So I thought we'd give this game a go and see if I'm any good. Let's have a look at Lost Scavenger. The game begins with us being able to choose our character, and there's quite a lot of depth here. The first thing I want to mention is that the game is a little bit buggy. I found a lot of minor issues, primarily around the translation and the missing translation for certain items. For example, changing your character will default if you delete everything to I believe this is Russian. So the translation leaves a little bit to be desired. Now I'm going to try and pick a character that's closest to me. I guess Engineer would probably be the closest out of everything here. And we have a number of different characteristics. We are not very strong, but we also get things like fast learning, perception, and the ability to craft items. We also get a bit of an inventory that's a little bit more generous than some of the other classes, but given we're not a policeman or a hunter, we don't have any weapons on us, so we're going to have to craft something to use. Now you've got some different advantages and disadvantages here, and I'm going to try and again be a law friendly. I have I'm probably wouldn't be a tourist. I'm not psychologically unstable or psychological stability. I'm going to go with hunter because I do have some experience in hunting. And I am a deep sleeper. So we've got our basic items. Let's start the game. Now this game is in very early access and there are quite a lot of bugs in here, but thankfully nothing that breaks the game. It's quite stable. This quiet summer evening was like a prolonged nap. While you're returning from work in a half-empty commuter train, the sun drifted sleepily over the horizon. Today is a very special day. You finally completed an engineering project and will receive a huge fee. Soon your life will change forever. Yawning, you take out the trash to the alley. Approaching the trash can, the alley begins to fill with fog. Now, probably the best move here would be to go home. Studying the fog would not be a good idea, although we are an engineer. Perhaps we could learn something. I mean, it's not really the smartest idea, but see how we go. Having delayed, you soon cease to see anything but a grey veil. You did not immediately understand what's wrong. It was only when the hard asphalt under your feet was overgrown with grass it became truly creepy. Running out of the fog you froze. The street is littered with the debris and cars abandoned in the middle of the road and houses covered with winding cracks. You recognise your home in an ivy-sprouted building. Suddenly a terrible growl is heard behind you. Yeah, let's dip. We could face whatever it is, but I think running is our best option. We don't have any weapons here. Without turning to the source of the growl, you run like... Okay. You run like urine into your house. Again, the translation is hilariously bad sometimes. Thanks to the quick start, you have time to run into the hall and rest your body against the door. Okay, so we managed to make it away from whatever was chasing us. Let's search the other apartments first. You go to every apartment, but nowhere you find either owners or useful things. This continues until the third floor until you find a locked apartment. The handle does not lend itself. Now we have a few different perks here. We're not a burglar and we're not a giant. We can't break the lock and we can't kick the door down. But we can actually make a lockpick. Having picked up the wire from the floor, you bend it at angles known only to you and open the lock. Inside, you're greeted by a room furnished with furniture, a wide, shabby mezzanine, red carpet, wide sofa. The apartment looks like a door to the past. There is no one inside. But let's search. You thoroughly search the entire apartment, but you find nothing that can shed light on what's happening. Just a few little useful things as a small consolation. Mass barking begins to be heard from the street. Looking out the window, you see several dozen monstrous dogs surrounding the house. They've smelt your scent and will invade you from minute to minute. I believe they meant invade you any minute. Now I could go to the roof, but that would be very dumb because that would leave me trapped. Let's look for another exit. Wandering through the corridors of an abandoned home, you will find a small hole in one of the walls. Since it's very narrow, you're not worried that the dogs will follow. Soon the tunnel leads you to an alley. Dusting yourself off, you don't notice the dogs nearby. The path is clear. Winding through the streets and alleys, blah 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 blah. We got out. We escaped. Okay. So we managed to get a few different items here. We've got a kitchen knife. We've got some tea and some rags. We're suffering from anxiety. And it appears that a wolf has followed us. And here we're actually in the game. I don't have any weapons equipped. The game didn't give me a chance to actually equip anything. So we're going to have to fight this thing with our bare hands. I don't think this is going to end very well. We don't have a choice. We've got to get ready to fight this thing. I'm going to have a rest, and then I'm going to prepare. And I am going to go for a series of punches. Oh, that worked. Nice. I think that battle was scripted. I don't think you can lose it. Unfortunately, we did get hurt. So now we need to patch our wound, but we did pick up some items in our exploration. We got a kitchen knife. And we've got a bandage, a rag that we will apply on our wound. You can see here we've got a cut, and it's not treated. It's going to continually lose its health, and we have a number of different options here, but we don't have anything like a surgical kit or a bone needle. We're going to have to go with simply bandaging the wound with the rags. That's all we've got. After leaving the God's forsaken city and calming down a bit, you feel the adrenaline rush being replaced by hunger. You need to eat, but there's only forests and fields everywhere. You can find berries, mushrooms, or edible grass. The food under your feet may save you from hunger for a while, but not from bacteria and parasites. Since you can't do hunting and fishing without the proper equipment, maybe you should look for something to eat nearby. So now we need to begin to search. And after our battle with the wolf, we got a little bit of equipment here. Got some tea. Now one of the things we need to do is to hunt down some equipment. We don't have anything in the way of storage, and we're going to butcher this wolf. And we've got some worms here. Now I can eat these if I get really desperate. And I could use that pelt to craft something, but I think at the moment we're going to tear that. And we can use this to craft. So I've got some. I'm going to take those worms, and I definitely want to take that spare bandage. Now, looking at our characters, I mean, this game is incredibly detailed. You do have a lot of statistics here you need to worry about. And you've got your health, you've got stamina, you've got your water levels. I mean, that's the basic stuff. We also have to worry about body temperature, your stress, the intoxication, you get drunk, and also mutation. If you get bitten or get attacked, there's a chance that you may actually pick up different sicknesses which can change your body in unexpected and sometimes unwelcome ways. Okay, so we've gotten everything we can right now. So we're going to do a little bit of a search. And we've got a bunch of tools that we need to. We've got a kitchen knife equipped. There we go. Now, when we do a search, the type of tools we've got assists our chance of success. So we've got a light source, and we've got a weapon, and we've got a 91% success chance, and the safety is quite good as well. So if we're searching an area that's very dangerous, there's a chance we may get injured or attacked. This is a pretty safe bet. Okay, so we've got some pretty good stuff here. Let's search again. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we got. Bandana, which will give us 1 protection. The hat seems far better. So these can be torn up. We've got lots of bottles here, and we do have glass shards, which can be used as a cutting tool. But more important, we've got some spoilt food. I really don't want to use spoilt food, but I'm going to take it, if anything, just as a oh, there we go, got some thread as well. Hell yeah. So let's tear these, because we've got thread, and we've got bandages. Very nice. So we've got a little bit of food. We've got some medical supplies. We've got some thread. We've got a little bit of rope. Oh, nice, canned meat as well. So we're definitely gonna have that. Let's smash down these worms. And that's just going to get our hunger up. There we go, 100% hunger. So I'm going to... Oh, multi-purpose knife. We definitely want that. So let's drop the worms for now. And we'll take the canned meat. And we'll... No, we won't eat it yet. Looking good. Oh, okay, we need to open the can of meat. It's a quest. Beautiful. The meat was nutritious but kind of salty. You feel the urge to drink. After picking up a plastic bottle from the ground, you begin to wander and look for a source of water. Okay, so the creek is straight ahead. I'm going to see if I can get a spare bottle. Sorry, Fur. There we go. 2 bottles of water ought to do the trick. Now everything works in a grid system. You can move in any direction. You've also got a number of different enemy factions and roving bands of things like bandits, wild animals, and any sort of creatures that are going to attack you, and you have to either use trickery or aggression to take them out. Sometimes you'll need to hide, you'll need to flee. You're not very powerful in the game, and battle is definitely something you want to engage in as a last resort. Injuries are very, very dangerous, and getting into a fight with an animal always carries a risk of disease, of mutation, of permanent wounds, a bunch of other really nasty stuff. So what we'll do now is we're going to drink, and we're going to need a little bit more. There we go. Now, because we're drinking from dirty water, we're going to get sick. So I want to try and... Well, we're not gonna do too much. I might see if I can fill up my water bottles. There we go. Again, you pop the cap and walk to a tiny creek. When you try and get down on your knee, your foot slides in the mud, you lose your balance and fall into the water. The bottle fills up and drowns in the dirty water. I'm assuming you lost the water. You climb back on the shore and scoop the bottle out of the creek. Your fall has caused sand and slime to rise from the ground, so the bottle is full of dirty and sandy water. The sand will eventually fall to the bottom of the bottle, but the water is still full of germs. It has to be cleaned. Okay, so now we need to do... What we now need to do is to build ourselves a fire, and we can see that the recipe here is some sticks and some kindling. Now, some changes have happened, and now you're actually getting a bit of a tutorial. When I first played this game, there was nothing in the way of guiding, and I was completely stumped trying to figure out how to craft. So we've got a fire, and we don't want a bonfire, we just want... It seems like we don't have any option. Shredded wood and branches. So what we'll need to do now is to search the area and try and get some goodies. Wood. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. So we've got some wood chips and we've got some branches. Hell yeah. And we've got some apples as well. So there's a lot of really nice stuff here. We can now commence building ourselves a fire. So what I can do is go to crafting, and this is the really nice thing too, because you don't have a lot of inventory space, you can pull stuff directly from the ground and craft your different fires. There we go. Nope, didn't like that. Beautiful. Now I think I made a little bit of a mistake. I didn't, oh here we go, we got an empty tin. So that's all good. So now we've got a fire, we can now go to the crafting menu and hunt down our water. There you go. So I think one of the things in this game is a very, very deep and confusing crafting system, and I got very confused trying to figure it out. The game is not very obvious, and again, I haven't played Neo Scavenger, but it took me about 4 or 5 goes to try and figure out how all this works. Initially, the game had no tutorial, and I was just floundering around trying to figure it all out, so at least now the developer has given us a little bit of a guide. So now I need to make a bed and make a hut to sleep in. So let's see what is involved in doing that. Again, a lot of this is complete trial and error. Containers, I've got a cloth bag already. So there's nothing in here for a bed. Raft, torch, sled. Let's see if we can... Oh, there we go. So now you can just actually build one. You don't need any resources. So I was going into the crafting menu, trying to figure out how to actually do it. So you don't need resources, it's just time. Okay, so now we've got a bed set up and a shelter. We can now rest in relative safety. So 100% safety, 59% comfort is not perfect, but we're going to get our health back, and more importantly, that should let our left arm, which was cut, heal overnight. So it is treated. Let's get some rest. I feel hungry. You need to find food before leaving this place. So the game wants us to head back into the town. Again, before we go, I think it might be worthwhile us crafting a weapon. So I did see a couple of them here. So a self-made axe, that might be easy enough to make. A shiv, a stone axe. Okay, before we do anything, let's search the area, because I don't want to go back into town unarmed. Maybe we can even make a bow. Let's search the area. Excellent, so we've got ourselves a branch that we can use to craft ourselves a bow, or more importantly an axe. We've got a couple of these, so oh good, I can make myself a stone axe. Nice, so we've finally got ourselves a decent weapon. And also, this can be used to cut down some trees. Now we can hunt as well. Now, probably not going to get a hell of a lot from this because I don't have a trap yet. wonder if I can build one. Probably not. I can build a trap from a bottle. There we go. Nice, so I can catch some fish. Let's give that a go. Okay, I can't do anything here, but let's see how we go. Oh, got ourselves a rabbit. Not too bad, not too bad. So let's butcher that rabbit. And we've got ourselves some meat. Very good. So the next thing we want to do is we need to cook that meat up. Grilled meat. And again, we've got everything we need here. We've got our campfire, so let's make good use of that. So a lot of this game is all about trying to figure out the different recipes for crafting. There's quite a lot of complexity in the game, and now I've got a bit thirsty. I'm going to have to let's drink that. We might as well get we might as well collect some water. And then I can go ahead and craft some more clean water. Since we've got a... Whoops. Beautiful. Now you might think I'm making this look easy, but it took me quite a lot of time to figure out the mechanics of the game, and I had to do a lot of experimentation. As you can see, I even had to do a little bit of messing around to try and figure out how to play the game. Nothing is given to you in this game. You do get a little bit of some hints and tips, but when I first played the game I didn't even have that. So now we can return to the city. Before we do that, we're going to have to rest. Let's get our entire energy up, and I think it would be a good idea to rest until the morning, and we don't want to search the city during the night. Now a little bit hungry, but again, we have some of the cooked meat that we've got. Let's smash some of that down. Where is it? Cooked meat. Where are you, cooked meat? Wood chips. Grilled meat. There we go. Now that has increased our hunger. And we've got some grasshoppers as well. Let's eat one of those. Nice. One more to do the trick. Now we can head back into the city because where our hunger and our water needs have been met, and we can now search. With our new tools, the axe, we can, and of course our multi-tool, I'll grab a knife as well. Let's have a look and see what we can find. In one of the houses you find a leaflet. Your nearest evacuation point is the Mitten village. On a schematic map indicated direction, perhaps there's still people. Okay. Our next goal is to head over to the Mitten village, and that's going to be very interesting because it's a very, very far distance from where we need to go. So I think for now, we're going to continue searching and get ourselves a little bit more storage. Cities are very good for finding storage items like bags and backpacks, and that's what we need. Ooh, a pipe. Now that is actually going to be a lot more powerful than our current weapon, but for the moment, because the axe has the additional utility of being able to cut down trees, we can continue our search. Ah, very nice. So now we've got some pants. They're actually not as good. Durability. Container size 4. So that's actually no good. So let's tear that up. And these as well. And we've actually found a garbage bin. Again, spoiled food. We're actually allowed to be a little bit selective here because we have a surplus of supplies. I'm going to drop the trap and I'm going to take the rope because I have seen Boondock Saints and I know the importance of a good length of rope. We've got some grilled meat here. Let's move some of that. Drink that. We'll take that. Now, I believe if we can combine some rope, we can make ourselves a bow. There you go. And we can actually get a branch from the woods, and we can also make an arrow from feathers, scrap metal, thread, and branches. So we need some scrap metal. That's what we're looking for at the moment. Thread. So again, we've already got a lighter, but that is far better than ours, so we're going to swap them over. Ah, there we go. So breaking these will give us the scrap metal we need. To make ourselves some arrows. So let's break up all of these. And then now we can head back with our ill-gotten gains. And we can create ourselves a bow. With all of the thread and the supplies we've got. I'm going to grab as many of these as I can because I want to make lots of arrows. Let's get rid of the worms and we'll keep the grilled meat. Unfortunately, our search has not yielded a bag yet, but we've got the materials we need to build ourselves a bow and some arrows. Oh, nice. Okay, so we've got another item of clothing, which, durability, that is far better than ours, so we're going to take that. And we're going to tear that. Now again, we can come back here for more, to come back and get what we need. So let's keep searching. Now the longer we stay here, the more risky it is for us. So let's see what we've got here. There we go. Now unfortunately we can't stack our clothing, so I can only have one item here. We have a lot of scrap metal, which I'm loading up on. We've got our rope, and now we can head back to the countryside. Let's take more rope. Let's head back and make ourselves a bow. But we need to rest. Oop, now that made us a little bit sick. Now, as you can see, we've taken a little bit of damage, and we've got a cold. Let's see if we can treat that. And our arm is completely healed, well, just shy of being completely healed. Drink a concoction. So we now need to figure out how to make a concoction, or a decoction. Let's see if we can figure that out, and to healing. I'm going to need to get some healing herbs, which I only have one of. That's okay. So what we'll do is we'll make our bow, and then we'll search the area to get some healing herbs, and then we should have enough to heal ourselves up, and then we can start heading in the direction of the next town. So next thing we're going to do, we're getting into crafting and make ourselves that bow. So for that we just need a branch and a rope. Very nice. Now that is very useful against small animals, but in a pinch we can use it as a ranged weapon. And we can make ourselves some arrows. And we can sling the bow over our shoulder. Now, I think one of the issues is we're going to have to find some way to store these arrows. So I can throw the rope away for now, and we can store the arrows in here. Now I'm going to want to make some more arrows, so let's have a rest. Okay, and we're thirsty again. So this guy seems to require a ridiculous amount of water, but that's okay, because the area we're in has a nice steady supply of clean water. I want to continue searching and see if we can make the decoction to heal ourselves. So let's do that, because we want to be in full condition to be able to head into the next town. So search, search, search. Now that's gotten us a little bit tired, but I can see that there's a deer there. We could hunt that deer, but more importantly, I'm looking for the ability to make some more arrows and to make a healing tea, which we haven't found yet. Let's see if we can make something to get ourselves patched up. We're hungry again, but that's okay, because I've got that meat. And we're wet, and we're cold. So let's have a look and see how we may just be able to treat this with a fire. So we can't treat our cold yet, but we can treat our hunger by resting. So let's rest. We've got our fire, and hopefully that will help us recover. There you go. So by resting, we've removed our cold. And we were well rested, but we're a bit thirsty, but that's okay. Now we're out of water again, of course we are. So I'm going to use the fire to make some more. there you go. You can't imagine how much time it took me to figure out this crafting menu. It's not very intuitive, and it's quite difficult to figure out. But on that note, the next town I did make it over, but it was quite a trek, and I died pretty shortly after getting over there. That being said, I didn't get water, I didn't get food, I didn't prepare half as much as I did in this video. I think we're in pretty good shape to make it, but I think at this point there's enough information to give you an idea on whether you want to try this game out. I highly recommend it. I'm going to have to hunt down Neo Scavenger as well, because I think that it's very similar. But now I understand the basic mechanics of the game. After several hours of playing this, hopefully this gives you a little bit of a guide on whether you want to pick the game up, and hopefully a little bit of information to help you survive the first part of the game. I'm in a hell of a lot better shape than when I tried this last, and I think I'm in good shape to continue playing the game. If you want to see more, leave me a comment, let me know. Did you enjoy the game? Do you want to try this out yourself? Would you like to see more? Leave me a comment, a like and a subscribe if you're feeling kind, and hopefully you'll join me next time when we look at another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate out.